Hi, you all. In today's video, I'm doing grocery shopping and I'm gonna show you how I choose my vegetables, my produce, and so on. Here is where I get my yellow yams, and I'm gonna choose a nice piece of yellow yam. I always look to make sure it's not red and dried up. So I take a long time when I'm choosing my yam because I like a nice piece of yellow yam. And if you look carefully to see, I have to look up, top, round, bottom, everywhere, that it's not battered, it doesn't have any cut on it. If you want to know if you choose the right piece of yellow yam, just rub a little piece of lime on it. And if it changes color, then you know if it's good or not. But when you're choosing, just make sure you take your time to choose the best piece. And as you can see, there was somebody here asking me to choose piece of yam for them as well. Because he was looking at, the best yams. So that's what my grandma teach me and my mom, how to carefully look for the best piece of yellow yam. Not only just yellow yam alone, any produce in general. And over here they have white yam, and I do the same thing. I make sure to look for the best piece. The best piece. I don't want any old dried up one. And when you go home and you cut it, some of them are not good. They're battered and they're spoiled. So make sure to look carefully at the top and the bottom to see the freshness of it. So that's what I do. I like yams on a whole because I put them in soup. You can just cook them like that. Over here now I'm choosing pumpkin. I love pumpkin. So I always look for the one with the orange color. Look. So I check to make sure it's not battered and the seeds are not dried up before I put them in my cart. I'm going on the other side. In there is so crowded, so most of the time I'm always like waiting for people to move out of the way. Here they have fresh onions. Some of these onions, you have to carefully look at them. Make sure it's not dried up, it's not starting to rotten. That's how you know when it's the best one. And on this side now they have tomatoes. When you're looking for tomatoes, make sure to feel how firm they are and look at all the sides, just turn it over and look to make sure it's not cut. Some of them is old or spoiled. And then, make sure there's no black to it. As you carefully look, you can see me choosing. Look, make sure it's firm, it's not too soft. And that's how I choose my tomatoes. And I don't always take the ones from the top. I always look at the bottom because they have the old ones on top and the fresh ones underneath. So carefully look when I'm choosing my tomatoes. And over here, cabbages. So I'm looking for a nice head of cabbage. I look at the leaf to see how dried up they are, and I look at the top to see the freshness of it. And then that's how I choose my cabbage. Next, I go choose my Scotch bonnet peppers. And you have to look at them again. Make sure they're not old. When I go grocery shopping, I spend a long time because I have to carefully make sure all that I'm choosing is looking okay. I'm not going to spend my money on anything that doesn't look okay. And I'm going to use it to cook again. I have to make sure here I have bell peppers. And I do the same for all my produces. And most of this place, a lot of Caribbean people shop there. See, that's how I choose my bell pepper. Make sure the top is not rotten. The stem is fresh. And I do this for all the colors. That's how I check. This is called, in Jamaica we say chocho. In America they say chayote. I love carrots. Over here this is called boniata. We say sweet potato in Jamaica. This one you have to look carefully because sometimes some of them have that black spot. And when you peel it, inside looks so rotten. So this is another one you have to carefully look at too. And I just love sweet potatoes. Or boniata, what they call it, boniato. And then over here you have the malangas. And over on this side you have fresh okras. And you have to feel these because sometimes they mix the hard ones with the soft ones. So you have to just like squeeze it like to see how soft they are. These are fresh garlic. These are potatoes on this side. And I have to turn over the bag and look at the potatoes too because sometimes they are spoiled. Or sometimes some customers drop them on the floor and smush them. And they just throw them back on the top. So I carefully look at them to make sure all of the potatoes in the bag are looking okay. And over here we have water crackers. This is where all the snacks are. St. Mary banana chips. And the cassava chips as well. And on this side you have the Tiger's cheese tricks, my favorite, and Bigfoot, another one of my favorite. If you're Jamaican, you know this snack. This one is so good. And they have cheesies. As a kid growing up, I used to buy a lot of cheesies, Bigfoot, all of those snacks. So even though I'm older, I still like them. So whenever time I go grocery shopping, I always check to make sure they have Sometimes they don't, but you know, I always make sure to get a lot if they have a lot. And over here they have the cheesies. That's the cheese snacks. Bigfoot. Hot and spicy. Chippy's banana chips. That's another one of my favorite. Tastes so good. And then I go get the saltfish. Ooh, saltfish. When choosing saltfish, I always take the middle part. I don't like to take the tail. I always search for the best piece. Look, you see this one? You see how it look nice? And the one I buy is a salted pollock bone in. I don't buy the one without bone. Next, good oxtail. They have fresh oxtail and I always buy oxtail from them because it don't take too long to cook, and when I do cook it, it tastes good. And it's not really red or yellow color. Here, these are all the seasonings that I use. Grace seasoning. It's not too salty and it make your meat have a nice flavor. They're the best. I always try to buy everything Jamaican in this store. I buy the Eve Browning. This is the one I use when I'm doing brown stews. Got the hot pepper sauce. Over here now I have the vanilla. Take the Benjamin's one. That's the one I'm used to from I was a child. And these are all the crackers and teas. That's the Lasco tea, chocolate tea. My sons love chocolate tea. And over here, the crackers. Special Cream, that's the brand. I mean, homemade, that's the brand. Special Cream crackers. And the ginger biscuit, homemade, the same brand. And they have all the Ovaltine, they have the Shirley biscuit. This one is my favorite, the coconut flavor. And that's my mom's name. And then I can't leave out my cock soup. This one I use when I'm making soup. Sometimes I add it to my stew. Sometimes. So I can't leave out my cock soup. I grew up on this. And these Pear J, they have Pear J and Apple J, but on that day they only have Pear J. That's like a sparkling fruit drink. And they taste really refreshing when it's chilled. And I can't leave out my Ting soda. I use this to mix with Campari. These are another ones too. I Cool. They're so refreshing as well. Very refreshing. See, in this aisle you get everything. I'm taking those butter beans. And I can't leave out the corned beef. Wow, this is the mackerel, tin mackerel, dirty gal, flash out. My favorite with white rice. And they have sausages, Grace Vein sausage. And I like the hot and spicy one. It tastes so good. Tastes so good. And the sardines. Sardines are so good. And over here, Grace coconut water. This is another refreshing one too when it's chilled. And you have those little coconut pieces in there. Yeah, when I'm getting them, I get a lot. Because I don't really go to the store all the time. It's because it's a far away from my home. So when I do go, I make sure I get a lot of those snacks.